after a 9-0 victory away against Southampton. It's the worst defeat in the history of the Premier League for a home side. I feel like I want to start with the players at Southampton. How on earth are you feeling after that?
Go home and hide your head, eh?
Pretty ashamed, I'd say. Even though they got Bertrand sent off correctly.
Yeah, that was at 1-0. 12
minutes, I believe, in the 12th minute or thereabouts. Bad tackle. No qualms about that. Had to go. But we've all played in teams that have had at least one man sent off. Maybe some have had more. And I'm telling you, it's a bit like when the lower league teams get an opportunity in the cup to go to a Premier League team with 11 men, albeit, and they sit in, and for a long time, even these guys that are maybe 3 and 4 divisions below can frustrate. I've seen it at Chelsea and Liverpool and United. I've seen it. Because sometimes you can make it difficult for guys with way more talent. Now we have 2 teams in the Premier League, albeit there's a disparity between the quality of the 2 teams, and you can't even make it difficult without creating chances or worrying about what you're going to do in an attacking sense. You can't even make it difficult for Leicester, who are a good side, to try and break you down. You don't even do the basics, and that is first and foremost, let's batten down the hatches to half-time, do what we can, we reorganise, we make it difficult. They made it damn easy.
It shouldn't take a lot of working out. It's not a situation where you have to look at the bench and try and get some help at what to do. You automatically, if you call yourself a professional, you automatically go a man down, you pull everybody in, you batten down the hatches, as Craig said, and then you try and go from there. But you don't just carry on, way open, let them pass the ball around. It just smacks of a team that's got nothing to give. They've got nobody organising on the field, and on the field of play, they don't have good enough players.
9-0. What's your worst defeat, Brian?
I don't know. I can't remember. I know it certainly
Well,
wasn't
you'd remember
close to
that.
9.
Yeah, you remember 9.
I think this comes down to pride. You know, when that third goal goes in and it's still in the first half, there's normally a reaction. If it's not after the second goal and you think, okay, just because of red card we've given up. Now you've given up the third goal, and you as a player, and especially as a group, you know nothing's changed other than you've lost an attacking player. So defensively, you shouldn't be that wide open anyways. There shouldn't be easy chances, second balls that fall down in the penalty area. Just because you have a player sent off, they should still be yours that are won. Now, the out pass and the consistent pressure, that might happen. But when you stop being prideful and mindful of positioning and shape and understanding you have to work harder when you're down a man, that shows a lack of character, and maybe just the fact that each player doesn't want to play for their teammates.
I wouldn't even been looking at the manager. It's not Stevie said and Brian said, it's not difficult. If you're a senior player with experience and you've got a bit about you, it's like, right, hey, you, 4 at the back, 5 in the middle, with nobody up top.
Isn't that the manager's job, though?
Well, yeah,
sort that
but
out?
even if he's not looking as if he's doing it, you've got experience in there with a bit of leadership. You say, right, forget that. 4 and 5, maybe somebody in a slightly more attacking position. So if we break away, we can get
with
away.
Pace. Yeah.
If not, you go 4-4-1 at the worst, but you're still dragging your striker back in. So you're just keeping it compact. I mean, teams can score against you. I understand that. And I always said this, losing a man and losing by 4 or 5 goals is a really bad day.
Right.
Losing a man and almost losing double figures is a disaster in a football parlance.
They looked as though they'd kind of given up on each other, pretty much. You know, Craig's saying that you would get one of the senior pros would be pulling people in, and you come in here, you do this, you do that. I don't remember watching this game and seeing any single Southampton player talking to another player. They're all just running around. They were all just running around, not thinking, certainly not working for the guy standing next to him, and with nobody on the field to tell anybody yay or nay, then it's a complete and utter...
The big problem for Hasenhuttl is they were already questioning him coming into this game.
Yeah.
You know, people are already saying, Brian,
he's gone, isn't he?
He doesn't know what he's doing. Even though I thought he looked okay last year when he was there. I thought maybe have a good sum on the transfer window, which they didn't have, to be fair. But go again and see it. But I think For the umpteenth time, Southampton fans are saying, once again, we've got a manager that seems to be a little bit lost.
Yeah, you have to give Leicester some credit.
Of course, yeah. Vardy hat-trick, Perez hat-trick.
Certain times, teams just say, okay, that's enough. We'll just pass the ball around. They just went for the jugular.
Yep.
And even though there's 9 goals, I think for Leicester, the stability at the back is what's impressive to me. All four in the back line have played all 10 games, have started all 10 games. And that stability allows players like Vardy and Tielemans, who's come into this. You got James Maddison, who's really starting to put everything together, not just have that nice little being able to get out of tight spaces, bringing players in. And
young Harvey Barnes looks like a good young player as well.
They have something here.
From a professional's point of
in the defensive center midfield.
No, they're a good side. I mean, listen,
right. From an ex-pro's point of view, just going back to Southampton, 5-0 at half-time.
Yes.
Would you prefer the opposition, as Leicester did, to continue to go for the jugular?
Yes.
Or would you want them to just pass it around, take it easy?
You ask me if I'm a Leicester player?
No, if you're a Southampton player.
You hope that they go to sleep at half-time.
No, you're 5-0 down. I mean, would you mind if they took the foot off the gas and didn't go as hard in the second half?
Do you mean this old nonsense about not scoring too many goals?
No.
As a Southampton player, you would have preferred that, though, sure.
No. Talk about disrespect.
Right.
Listen, the goal difference matters, especially where Southampton is.
From Southampton's point of view.
But that's more disrespectful. Doing that and just knocking the ball around and having all the fans cheering Ole and all that nonsense is far more disrespectful than beating them 9-0.
So that would hurt you more as a player?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No question.
Would you agree?
No question.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be thinking about that at half-time, to be honest.
They don't, but...
No, I understand that. Just in the hypothetical, conversational...
I think by that time, the coffin lid's already open.
Right.
You're just about to fall in it, so it doesn't matter. It's not if, it's when. So it's... I don't know what conversation they would have had at half-time, but... I'm sure it was the usual. We've all seen it. Everybody's looking at each other. And then when you get a team like this, who really lack a bit of leadership and quality, I'll guarantee you in that dressing room, everyone was blaming everybody else.
Right.
That's how it works.
You're just hoping that Leicester down tools at 5-0. If you're Southampton, you sit in the dressing room and you've seen it before, teams are so far ahead at half-time that the second half becomes just a non-event. Unfortunately for Southampton, Leicester's manager wouldn't let that happen. And Leicester's, the group of players they have right now, apart from Vardy, they've got plenty of youth, they've got plenty of energy, plenty of desire. They just want to keep getting after it and scoring goals. So unfortunately for Southampton, that's why they didn't down tools.
Tell them what's the good news for Southampton?
Next up, Manchester City and Manchester City in the Cup and the League. What's worse, this thrashing or being 3-0 up at half-time then losing 4-3? Like with the last... Like, what would hit you in the gut more?
9.
As a pro? A 9?
9.
Yeah.
9.
Gab, 9-0. You hate this as an Italian, don't you?
Look, I always say it has to be within the cultural context, right? If people think that you're showing respect by scoring, if that's the expectation, although I heard some contradicting thing there because I also heard some people there saying, well, if you're Southampton, you hope they down tools. Certainly from Ralph Hasenhuttle's perspective,
what are you talking about?
Regularly ran up the score
what are you on about?
in Germany. That's how you show...
What are you talking about? What are you on about contradicting? Contradicting what?
Well, you said if you're Southampton, you hope that they down tools.
Correct. How do I contradict myself?
Well, because if you hope that they down tools, then wouldn't you rather that they continue respecting you by beating you up?
No,
That's the kind of stuff I don't really get.
Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. There's a complete difference. When I said down tools, I'm talking about stopping making the runs forward and stopping closing the ball down and all those things and just saying, you know what,
Right.
we've got a game next weekend. That's a different ball game.
So you hope that they stop
That's a
at
different
5.
ball game to taking the mick, getting... If you've got people like Neymar, that's why we criticise Neymar, because he tries to disrespect the opposition. That's what I meant. Never mind contradicting myself.
I have absolutely no problem with people scoring a lot of goals, even after 10 men, even when you're 5-0 up at halftime, if that is what the cultural context demands. Ralph Hasenhuttl can have no problem because he would regularly run up the score back when he was in Germany. That fits in German culture as well. I have no issue with this. What I do have issue with is the reason that Southampton didn't do what Craig said that they should do, you know, at 3-0 down, keep it tight as senior pro, go forward, the back, whatever, and why they continue to play so open and run so hard and press, is that he plays pressing football. I think he actually asked them to continue pressing that way. You know, pressing and playing in that way when it's 11v11 is hard enough. Playing that way when you're a man down, trying to press all over the pitch when you're a man down, is suicidal because there's always going to be an opponent that's open and they're just going to take you to the sword. And that's what Leicester did. So when Hasenhuttl says he takes 100% of the responsibility, yeah, I mean, he can share it with his players if he likes, but this is on him.
Which is what my point was initially. With any player, which is any players worth their salt, which clearly most of these at Southampton are not. With any players worth their salt, after the manager said to do that, you did it for 5 or 10 minutes maximum. Right. You were getting a run around. You go, right, don't care what he says. End the story. This is what we do. That's proper senior, experienced professionals, not people that just. If he tells you to go and jump off the cliff, you're going to do it. At the end of the day, too many players now, I think, are too absorbed in what the coach says. Sometimes, and it's a bit old school, sometimes you've got to take responsibility on the field and make some decisions for what's best for your team.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.